All right, let's just dive right into a totally wild thought experiment. What if we took a nuclear bomb and set it off at the deepest point on planet Earth? I mean, it's a scenario that pits two of the most extreme forces we can even imagine against each other. And trust me, the answer is, well, it's probably not what you're thinking.
I mean, come on, this feels like it's ripped straight out of a disaster movie, doesn't it? You've got humanity's ultimate weapon going up against nature's ultimate crushing abyss. The sheer scale of it is kind of mind-bending, but we're going to get into it. We're going to look at what the science actually says would go down.
And this is where our imagination just goes wild, right? You're probably thinking about a mega-tsunami wiping out entire coastlines, or maybe the ocean itself just, boiling over. But is that what would really happen? Do our Hollywood-fueled instincts actually line up with reality? Well, let's find out.
Okay, so to really get what happens next, we have to set the stage. We need to understand the two main characters in this story. And believe me, we are talking about a serious clash of titans here. It's our own destructive power versus the crushing, silent force of the Earth itself. So in one corner, you've got the nuke, the absolute peak of our ability to just unleash a ridiculous amount of energy in a split second. And in the other corner, the Mariana Trench, a place so deep, so foreign, it might as well be another planet. It's the ultimate symbol of nature's raw power. It is, literally, the unstoppable force meeting the immovable object.
Now, picture this. The bomb starts its long, long fall, and it's not just a casual swim. It's plunging down deeper and deeper into a world where the pressure is just building and building. It's getting more and more hostile with every single meter it drops. And that hostility, that's the secret ingredient to this whole thing.
So by the time our bomb gets to the trench floor, we're talking about pressure that is 1,000 times greater than what you and I are feeling right now. 1,000. To put that in perspective, imagine stacking 50 jumbo jets on top of something the size of your thumb. It's just an insane amount of weight. The entire ocean is pressing down.
And here's the thing you got to understand. That pressure isn't just there. It's an active, powerful force. It's a containment field. The ocean itself becomes this giant crushing cage. And that one fact, it changes everything about what a nuclear bomb can do. And on its way down, the bomb is just plummeting through what's called the abyssal zone. We're talking total darkness, freezing cold, and the life forms down there? Oh man, they are these weird, incredible creatures built to survive conditions that would pulverize us in a nanosecond. They're basically the aliens living right here on Earth.
Okay, here we go. The main event. The bomb hits the seafloor and boom, it goes off. But forget everything you know about mushroom clouds. That's not what happens down here. No, this explosion is playing by a whole different set of rules. The brutal, unforgiving rules of the deep ocean.
So check this out. It's a super fast, violent process. First, the bomb detonates, creating this tiny pocket of super hot plasma. That heat is so intense, it instantly vaporizes the water around it, forming a huge steam bubble. But, and this is where it gets crazy, that immense 1,000-atmosphere pressure we talked about, it immediately slams down and crushes that bubble. The collapse is so violent, it sends out these huge shock waves. But, and this is the absolute key, the massive weight of all that water above it acts like a giant wet blanket, smothering the explosion and soaking up almost all of its energy. So the explosion is huge, for sure, but it's also surprisingly contained. You'd think, whew, okay, dodged a bullet there. But you'd be wrong. The real terror of this whole scenario isn't the Big Bang. Oh no, it's the silent, invisible nightmare that follows. Yep, you heard me. That mega-tsunami, the one we were all worried about, it just doesn't happen. The explosion is way too deep, and like we said, the ocean is an incredible shock absorber. The blast just can't move enough water all the way up at the surface to kick off that kind of disaster movie wave. So that's the good news. But the bad news, the bad news is so much worse. Instead of one big wave, what you've actually done is inject a huge dose of radioactive poison straight into the planet's bloodstream, the ocean currents. That whole unique ecosystem, all those weird alien-like creatures, gone. Wiped out in an instant. And that radioactive fallout, it doesn't just sit there. It gets swept up by the deep ocean currents and starts a slow, silent journey around the entire globe that could last for decades, maybe even longer. See, our fear was all wrong. We were looking for the big, loud, cinematic explosion, the splash. But the real disaster here, it's silent. It's a slow, creeping poison that works its way into everything. The oceans, the marine life, the entire food chain, and yeah, eventually, back to us.
And that kind of leaves you with a pretty chilling question, doesn't it? If the biggest, most destructive outcome of this event is completely silent, what else are we missing? In a world where we're always focused on the loud, explosive problems, how many quiet, slow-burning disasters are we completely failing to see until it's way too late?